You need to understand one thing that I was explaining in the price elasticity. A very low price point does not mean higher sales, okay? Whenever you are building a brand, whenever you are building a product with a certain value and with a certain quality, you cannot go at a very low price point, because then people will perceive it as bad quality. And people only understand that if the price is very low, it means that there is something wrong with the product. Okay, so let's say, for instance, a bottle of water, the small bottle of water. Okay, let's say that it is sold at 3 dirhams in the UAE. Okay, if I come with a new bottle of water that I want to market and then I sell it at 1 dirham, I'm not sure that people are going to buy it, because I'm sure that you yourself are going to be asking, why is it so cheap, right? There's something wrong with it. And you're not going to say, oh, I'm sure it's a good quality, but it is cheap. Nobody thinks like that. Okay, people think, no, it is cheap. This is not the price we know. There must be something wrong about it. And the minute they say there must be something wrong about it, they've just bashed your product, they've just bashed the quality, so it's no longer good for them. Price sensitivity is high on commodities like bread and water, which means that people are very sensitive when it comes to commodities or when it comes to products that are essential to our life. Because these products are actually something we kind of survive on, okay? It's something that we cannot live without. We are very price sensitive in that regard. However, you have to note something very important, which is that no matter how much the price of bread, water, milk, sugar, etc., salt, etc., goes up, people are still going to buy it. Although the sensitivity is high, okay, people are still going to buy these products because those products are essential to our life. We cannot live without them. Which is why the price of bread and the price of these essential and basic products are kind of controlled in a way, not to go too high, because no matter what is your purchasing power, no matter how much you can afford bread or anything else, okay, there are also people who can barely afford it, so they only have bread and water maybe to live on, which is why price sensitivity is high on these commodities. Now, when we go to something that is no longer a basic product, when we go to something that has a specific design, that has value, that has quality, etc., price sensitivity becomes a bit lower, because then we focus on the quality of the product. So when I go, for instance, to buy a smartphone, okay, I wouldn't mind paying maybe $50 or $100 extra to get that phone that has the best resolution, or that phone that has a keyboard, or that phone that has this or that has that, etc. Here, I'm looking at functionalities, specific functionalities that I am willing to pay for. So here, if I say, for instance, a smartphone at $600 and another one at $800, I wouldn't really, because if I can pay $600, what's another $200 for me? Okay? So price sensitivity is lower on products where quality is important. Now we go to the third example, which is luxury products. For luxury products, price sensitivity is almost none. And when we say none, it means that here you can see, for instance, a handbag that is a Chanel. Okay, I personally, maybe not personally, but all women in the world, okay, can carry a random handbag. They do not need specifically a Chanel for them to carry their stuff in, right? So here, whenever a person goes to buy a Chanel bag at, let's say, $6,000 or $7,000, that's not what they're not looking for. Something there's no need behind it. Okay, there's no need for a woman to purchase that specific product. So here it has to do with the lifestyle, it has to do with the social status, it has to do with the pleasure of carrying maybe a leather bag, etc. So here, whether the bag is at $5,000, at $10,000, or maybe even more, the price sensitivity is almost null, because we are addressing a specific section or part of the population that can afford luxury and that doesn't care how much they're spending on luxurious products. There are actually two basic principles okay, that rule the market, which are actually what we call the offer and the demand, the supply and the demand. So if you look at the demand, when the demand on the market is higher than the supply, the price goes higher. So for instance, if you are looking for real estate, if you are looking for apartments, okay, if there is a lot of people looking for apartments and there aren't enough apartments in Dubai, for instance, okay, or in the UAE, here you will see that the prices of real estate will go up. If it's the other way around, okay, if the offer is higher than the demand, which means that if there are much more apartments than people looking for apartments, the prices will go down. So these two principles, you always need to keep them in mind whenever you are setting your price strategy. If your product is something that has been done and overdone in the market, there is no need for you to have a high price point, okay? So make sure that your price point also is flexible, okay, regarding the offer and the demand.